So welcome to the point of view drive of the Honda Civic CX. The 2000 Honda Civic CX, sorry. So, in the review, I talk about the generation of the car, the high points, the low points, stuff like that. In these point of view drives, I'm going to be talking about actually driving the car, what it's like to actually be in it, what sounds it makes, if there's quirks, how it is handling, and stuff like that. So, right away, in this 2000 Honda Civic, I can tell you that it's low. It's really low to the ground. Getting in it kind of feels like you're just like sitting on the ground. Mostly due to it is lowered a little bit, but so what I'm trying to say, it's pretty low. So the second thing that you notice right off the bat is that this is a really small car. They do not make hatchbacks like this anymore. And what I mean by that is that if you go into, okay, let's say you get into a GTI, right? A real hatchback GTI, 2 doors, not a 4-door hatchback like the Focus STs like to do and the Mazda 3s and stuff like that. A real 2-door hatchback. And it's a hatchback, yeah, but your pillars are huge, big pillars, right? Because they need the safety. The back, huge pillars. You can't see anything out the back, right? So the butt of modern hatchbacks is so high because they want to make things planted, right? So they don't make hatchbacks like this anymore. And you immediately realize that when you get in it and you look to the back and you can touch the top of the back seat. It's right there. The muffler is it's right behind you. And when you have an aftermarket muffler like on this car, you hear everything coming out of that can. I mean, it's a lot of noise coming out of that can. So that's one of the first things that you notice is that this is just a really small, compact car. And if you reach over to the side, you can touch the other door. Right? How many modern cars can you do that where you can just reach over to the side and just touch the other door, right? So this is the automatic model. Like I said in my review, I believe that these automatics are pretty wishy-washy. They're not the worst automatics I've ever driven, but they're definitely not the tightest. There seems to be a dead zone. So first gear, you have a lot of torque, right? Second gear is okay. Third gear, it just disappears. Third gear, it doesn't want to move. Like, when you're driving, sometimes, like, let's say somebody's turning in front of you, and so you kind of slow down, kind of let off the gas pedal a little bit, and, they turn, and you get back on the gas, and the car gets stuck in the third gear. Let's call them gears. And so it gets stuck in the third gear and it just doesn't want to move. So fourth gear is interesting because fourth gear is more like an overdrive gear, right? So fourth gear, you actually have more power than third gear. Not as much as second, not as much as first, but more than third. And let's get back to if somebody turns in front of you. So let's say somebody turns in front of you again, hypothetically, and you let off the gas, you get back on the gas, it kind of doesn't decide what gear it wants to be in. It kind of hesitates a little bit, like, should I be in second? Should I be in third? Okay, I guess I'll go in the third. And then it snaps into it, and then you start going. So let's just knock all the transmission out of it because, obviously you guys can tell I'm not a big fan of this transmission. So, other than that, what is this car like to drive? Well, it's it's a Honda. I mean, it's an early 2000s Honda. What more can you want? It's rev happy. The power to weight ratio is pretty good. It doesn't have a lot of power, but it's not weak. So it still has a pretty good power to weight ratio, where if you press on the gas pedal and you really want to move, like let's say you're getting on the freeway, it'll get you up to freeway speeds. It's not anything fast. It's not like it's going to be like pushing you into the sea, but it will get you up and on the freeway. So like I was saying in my review, these are like the perfect cars for high schoolers, first-time drivers, because you have enough power to drive on normal road conditions, but it's not so much power where you can't really handle it. Another really cool thing about this car in particular, and just driving this car around, is that it does have some mods on it, like I said in the review, but sometimes those mods can attract weird attention, and I'm gonna throw an example out. So the other day I was driving this car. I went to the gas station to put some gas in it, and when I was out of the vehicle pumping gas, a guy and his friend in it's like a 92, 93 4Runner drove by, and they were staring at me. They were just like eyeballing me down. And I was thinking to myself, is it the car? Is that why? And then I thought about it a little bit, and this 4Runner, it was lifted, it was jacked up pretty high, it had 33s on it. The guy was chewing tobacco, spitting out his window. He was probably looking at me and thinking to himself, why is that guy driving this souped up, rice-burning Honda Civic with pink all over it? Like, what the hell is this guy's problem? And that made me start thinking, like, man, there are so many different car scenes in the world, and I'm not an expert on car scenes at all, but there are so many different car scenes, from the four-wheeling guys to the Honda Civic guys, or to the tuner guys, and we're still looking at each other and judging each other by what car we drive? Really? What's up, guys? This is Tyler, and down here we have little Yoshi. So Yoshi would really appreciate it if you guys liked the video that you just watched, if you would hit that like button and share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your mom. Maybe your mom likes car videos. I don't know. You don't know. You don't know until you try. Yoshi's also a camera whore. Look at her. Camera whore.